not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
Beyond science, beyond fiction, there is a hell in space. Horror planet. No one who lands here leaves here alive. A force of unknown terror. A war of alien invaders. A nightmare of living dead. Horror planet. The end of the universe begins here. Horror planet. Rated R.
You never know what you'll find when you take your spaceship out into the beyond. Welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature with our very special guest tonight, Jennifer Ashley. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. That was awesome. Just brought back memories. I never realized what a good screamer I was. Like in all the horror movies I did, I screamed and screamed. It makes a good actor because you have to be, have no inhibitions. You just have to let everything go. And I guess for some people, if they go scream on cue, they can't do it. Like they might get frozen or something. But I was always a good screamer.
I always wonder if the screams are real.
Oh yeah,
if they're authentic.
They're real. Yeah, I learned to scream. It's so funny because on that one in Inseminoid, I had to scream a lot, and there was also a lot where they had the glycerin blood go down my nose and my throat. I can still taste it.
Ew.
So how many times have you seen the movie?
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
On my end. Yeah, I've seen it a lot. I love movies close to Alien, so I'm a big fan of it.
An album came out with the music. There is an Inseminoid album, which is very eerie.
Oh man, I'll have to get it. I know we have a few people that collect the soundtracks in the chat, so I know one of our listeners, David does. So I'm sure he probably already has it.
Yeah, I have the album somewhere at home. I have the Pom Pom Girls album, and I have that one. And it's very, very eerie.
Vince in our chat says that he's seen Horror Planet Inseminoid over 50 times.
There was a Pom Pom Girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a couple people saying at least 4 times. Someone said
there you go.
A lot. Yeah,
not so in prison. I got a lot of fan mail from prisoners, so I know they played it a lot in the prisons. But no, I know it's very popular, and I'm honored to be on the show and to have been in the movie. It never goes away. Once you're in a movie, it's there forever, right? Yeah. It's like you can't hide. And
we had a lot of folks really comment really positively on the Pom Pom Girls because they had not seen it the last time you were on, and they're like, "I really loved that movie."
It's very good. It's very 70s. It's very, like high school back then, not like now. High school now is different, but this back then it was, real high school, real high school in California.
I remember those days. I was afraid to go to high school. I was scared.
I loved high school. I got the part through just my agent. They just offered it to me. Those are the best kind of, when you don't have to audition. That's the worst. So they offered it to me. They said, you'll be going to London, England for 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, I'm there. I'm half English anyway. My mom's from England. I had cousins there. So I was up for it, and I could have stayed at any hotel I wanted. So I stayed at Blake's Hotel in London, and that's where all the rock stars stayed. And that's where I met the Led Zeppelin group. They all were staying. They were on tour.
Oh, wow.
And that was before, I think John Bonham died. I don't even remember if I met him or not. I met Robert Plant and John Paul. And it was just very interesting, and I really had a good time. But then they would pick us up early in the morning and drive us way out into the English countryside. to Chislehurst Caves. We had to go underground. I mean, that's why the movie worked, because you really felt like you were in outer space. So we were underground for 8 to 10 hours for the day. I mean, I remember we did come out for a little sunlight now and then, but that was what we did. It was freezing. And then when it was over, they brought us back to the hotel, and it went on like that for 6 weeks. And I had fun afterwards, because I made friends there. I made friends with the English cast, and we went out, and it was actually sunny during that time, because we did it in the summer. So there's like 4 weeks of sun in England. And so they all had their reflectors out trying to get a tan. It's very funny. And we went to hear music, and but then it started all over again, where they picked us up and took us to Chislehurst Caves.
The third Living Dead movie, Day of the Dead. I talked to Laurie Cardill, who played one of the roles in that, and she said it was really scary because there were parts of the cave you couldn't go to because they were unmapped, and people had vanished in there, like in the past. Like you could get lost and never come back.
Yeah, I don't.
So that's kind of creepy. Was it like that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We were just in our own spot. I'm like a fraidy cat, so I would not go explore. I would not. No. I don't know. I wouldn't like explore and go into places where I think I would never come back. That's why I liked acting, because I can pretend, right?
You're sensible.
Yeah, I can pretend that I'm scared, especially when Judy Geeson was coming after us. That when she was impregnated.
Yes, was she a fun person?
She was very nice. She was lovely. My co-star, Robin Clark, wasn't so nice, but he got nice at the end. Like, you don't know what goes on. You're like in an acting family for 6 weeks, especially if you're on location and you're all like lumped together. So some of the personalities just don't click. But he wasn't nice, and then he was nice at the end. So something happened. I don't know. Maybe because I got more billing over him. I'm not sure. Actors' egos. Mm-hmm. Pretty big. And it was just because my agent was
maybe
bigger.
it was method. Who was your agent again? You were with an agency.
I was with Jack Gilardi.
You Tintorera.
I was with ICM. And back then, we weren't allowed to do television. So when the TV people asked that I screen test for Charlie's Angels, he said no. There you go. But back then, no actor, no like movie stars, did television. So I mean, I did a couple little stints, but that was fine. But they said that it ruins your movie career when you do TV. Now it's like the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Most actors do TV, and they're on like Netflix or Prime or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's just like a
the lines have blurred.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting what's happened to this business in all these years. But
that's interesting that you weren't allowed to be on TV, because I read a blurb in a newspaper article about you wanted to write a TV movie. This was around 1981. I saw a press piece on it.
I'm sure I did. I was there was a writer. We wanted to do something about like being at a gym and being like like a horror movie in a gym. Like you're doing the Stairmaster or you're doing weights or whatever. But she and I wanted to write this movie, but it never came to pass. And she could have done it because she was a famous. I won't mention her name, but she was a writer, and she said, "Why don't we write this horror movie?" Getting strangled to death like in a gym with the weights and everything. But one of the funniest things was, I went years and years and years to acting classes, right? I mean, that's where actually was my therapy, because they really, you get to know yourself, and the teachers are brutally honest about if you're a good actor or not, or how to get in touch with your feelings. And it's not the most fun place to be, but I did it for years. And in Seminoid, there was a part where they supposedly I was killed, and then they had me on a stretcher, and then they hung me up in a cave, and I had the blood coming out. Well, first of all, I couldn't stop laughing. They had to cut it, like when they were taking me away on the stretcher, and I could not stop laughing, because I'm thinking all those years of acting class, and this is what it's come down to. I'm being on a stretcher, and then I'm hung up in a cave with this blood coming out, and it was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing, but finally I did. You have to start thinking of like stuff that makes you cry. Like you got to switch, you know. I'm able to switch. I was able to switch my emotions pretty quick. Like, you have to cry on cue, especially if you have to do a take two, take three, and then a close up, and you have to do the same cry. Can't be a different cry or the same scream. It's got to be the same scream. It can't, be a different scream. It's crazy. You have to be really in touch with your emotions. So if anybody's interested in acting, if you want to really do something like that, that's your path. Back then, it was so different. We'd go to parties, and nobody, like, there were so many celebrities around, but nobody cared. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot. Let's put it that way. I shouldn't say I should write a book. That's what I should write. But I have seen a lot. And Steven Spielberg was nice. He was with Amy Irving at the time. Remember, they were married.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce is still a friend of mine.
Do you look back on that time as a happy time for you?
Oh, sure. There's things I would have done differently. Like I had a manager, I had an agent, and you have a manager. And my manager wanted me to do stage, theater. I go, no, I don't want to do theater. And he goes, yes, it's like important. You do theater. And I go, no, I don't want to do theater. And I probably, if I would go back, that was what I would do. Like in between movies is what actors do. They do theater. So that basically I would do that differently. I used to make like rash decisions. Like instead of thinking about something, I would just be so spontaneous, because acting is spontaneous. You act, react, act, react, and that's how my life was. I was spontaneous about everything, and I did things which I would never do again, because you have to think about the consequences. You know, I did turn down a couple of movies. I don't remember if they turned it down. I don't know. All I know is I was supposed to do what I was supposed to do. I'm looking at back in life like you were supposed to do this, and that was meant to be. And every film I've done, I remember it, and I loved every minute of it. Even so, sometimes it was very uncomfortable conditions, especially doing Terror Circus.
That's really great. I was going to ask you
think
about the Dinty Moore again.
Yes, that's right. You remember that. They used to feed me cold Dinty Moore out of a can. And then
Ew.
we had to drive. It was very low budget. We had to drive like ourselves to the desert. It was like an hour and a half drive, and it was, we had to do that. I think they gave us gas money, but I was Andrew Prine. There was who else was in that movie? But yeah, it was that. That was the most difficult movie that I think I did in terms of low budget.
You worked with Prine again on the Centerfold Girls.
Yes, I did. He's nice. He's still around, huh? Or no? I don't even know.
I think he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He did?
Yeah, just a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh, man. He was great. He really helped me, because when I started, he was around for a long time. And he really was encouraging. He said I had good instincts as an actor. and he was there to help. He was great, both movies, and he had a really funny sense of humor. He was hysterical, really fun to work with.
I would say you have good instincts as an actor too, because I've seen Towing. Towing is, it seems almost like it's all improv. Like, there even a script? Well,
There
not
was a
probably not
script.
much.
There was a script, but Mara, the director, let us because we worked with the Second City, and that was another education that I got doing improv, was working with the Second City comedy group. So she just let us have fun. Let's put it that way. She let us have fun, but there was a script, honestly. And then she would say, "Would you say it like this or do it that way?" Or but that was really a lot of fun. That movie was fun, and we're still close friends. I introduced her actually to her husband, who just passed away, Steve Shapiro, the photographer, and that was
Oh,
in
that's sad. I
Chicago.
didn't
We
know
filmed
he
that.
had died.
Yeah, that was sad. Um, uh, that was filmed in Chicago, which I enjoyed going back and forth to Chicago, having to do, and I had to fly back there to do voiceovers for the movie. They pay for everything. You get first class tickets. Anytime we had to work, and going on a plane, it was always first class.
What was your experience like on the Planet of the Apes TV show?
Um, it was fantastic, actually. They looked around. It was one of my first jobs,
Hmm.
and I had a different agent then. I was with David Goldstein, I think. So I went in, and it was like perfect. I was really nervous because it was I think it was 20th Century Fox. So yeah, I was really nervous, but it worked out. It worked out. Yeah, so I was with them, and then I think right after that, I got the Pom Pom Girls. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
right after, it was the same agent that got me the Pom Pom Girls when I had to go in there, and I was a cheerleader in high school, and I was a virgin, so like it was perfect. I was Miss Goody Two Shoes. And that's what they wanted from Lori, the character. They wanted someone who was actually like that person. I mean, that's why they have casting directors, right? I mean, but then you get into like if you're
Yeah,
Meryl Streep or something, she can do anything. She'll go anti-type. But when I did Chained Heat, I wasn't ever in prison, or that wasn't not my thing. But when I went on the audition, I don't know if I told you this before. I was going to
No.
Okay. Well, they called me into the office. I had a different agent at the time, and they called me into the office, and they said, "Act. You're in prison and you can't get out." I was going through a divorce, so I had a lot of anger inside of me. My first divorce, I had a lot of anger. So, that's why you go to acting class. You go back into sense memory. You get in touch with the anger, and it was like I had to pretend that I like couldn't get out of prison. When you feel like you want to get out and you're claustrophobic and you can't get out. So I did such a good job with the anger that I got the
yeah.
job um, in on the audition.
Oh
They
wow.
were like they were flabbergasted how angry I was to play Grinder. So I got the part of Grinder.
What was the rest of the cast like in that? Did good
Oh well,
experiences?
yeah. Linda Blair was a doll.
Okay.
Um, Linda
Was
Blair
she?
was a doll. She just was great. We became friends. Sybil Danning was kind of to herself. She's all into her, very beautiful lady, just into herself.
Hmm.
Um, I liked Francine York. Was very. These are the people I remember. Francine York was very nice, but Linda Blair was great. And that was also done in a defunct prison. It's ugh. It was like smelled. You saw the toilets. They had us in this. It's almost was like Chiselhurst Caves, but in a defunct prison. So you really felt like you were in prison. And then they had to cast a transvestite to play one of the parts in there because there's a scene where I take off the wig and beat her up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did I cast it? I went to La Cajo Fall back then, and it was a drag queen show. Everybody would go. It was so much fun. It was like a very expensive dinner show with drag queens. So I picked the one, and she actually played Julie Andrews. She was Julie Andrews, and her name was I think her name was Kelly. I think that was her name, and we became really good friends. She was awesome. So she came into the prison, and I don't know if you remember. I take off a wig, and
Yeah.
I did a good job.
Ferocious.
Yeah. I mean, those are the things I remember. I had it like, I don't think, taking off my clothes was very uncomfortable. Like you have to take a shower. You don't take a shower with your clothes on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But look today, any of the slight nudity that I did back then compared to today,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what it was. I mean,
Was
back
it
then.
easier because a lot of people were nude in that scene? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that was the most uncomfortable part for me. And
It's
I don't know how
gritty.
people do it today. They're just like, there I am, or
It has a very gritty atmosphere to it, and
it was
I
very
don't
gritty.
know, like even the nudity in it is very uncomfortable, and especially
Well,
the
it's
the
prison.
shower scene. Yeah.
What was that? What was the Orange is the New Black or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like taken off of these prison movies.
There was a show on HBO years ago called Oz. I don't know if you ever watched
Mm-mm.
Oz, but it was a prison drama. It was all guys. And it was in the contract. If you were an actor on Oz, you had to be full frontal nude in
Wow,
this. And all of the guys were like, everybody had a scene where they were full frontal.
wow.
So it was pretty, it was uncomfortable, like the way that they used nudity and confrontational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do what you have to do, right?
I think what I like about Chained Heat is it's I know women in prison movies can be very exploitative, but like it feels like it has an actual story and it's not just about getting the women naked. It's like there is an actual heart to the story, and it's that's why I like it. I'm also a big Sybil Danning fan, so that's probably the
Yeah,
other reason.
she's had a really good career.
I would always tell people, I tell people now, they're like, even when I was a kid, I'm like, I'm not ready for her. Like, like most guys watch movies and they're like, oh yeah, I could take, no, I'm fine. I
Yeah.
realized she'd probably kill me. So, we had one other question for you in the chat. Said, what was Norman J. Warren like as a director working with him on Inseminoid?
Oh, he was so nice. I mean, there's nothing more I could say. He was kind of handicapped with his arm. He had
Mhm.
like something with his arm. I don't know what it was. Who cares? He did a great job. He was just nice. He worked with us. He kept everybody intact, with the movie, and everything was done on time, and there was like none of this, messing around. Just that Robin was not nice to me, so I had to complain about it, and then he became nice. Yeah, but Norman J. Yeah, he was very, very sweet.
Norman J. Warren's films are strange because they look like BBC dramas to me.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden there's something really grotesque that happens in it. Like there's some gore moment. There's like,
who knows what goes on in his head, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I think that makes it all the more effective though, because,
Yeah,
the Brits have a certain way. Do you feel this too? Like there's a certain quality to a British made film that's missing from there's a
yeah.
clinical aspect.
They're very intelligent people. They're very smart. So, and they have a different sense of humor. So you have to. But I grew up with it. My mom is British, or was British. She started 5 years ago. But yeah, she was complete. Yeah, they were there. The British are very funny, and they have their own very odd sense of humor. So Yes, I understood it, and
Had you
he was
seen
terrible
Alien?
years ago, I think. Yeah,
Well, because Inseminoid is obviously inspired by Alien.
yeah.
It was trying to grab a little bit of that box
I
office,
can't
and
watch a horror movie. I can't. And the funny
that's
thing,
great.
I took my sister to the screening of Inseminoid, and it was a screening, and she actually threw up from the movie.
Oh man.
So there
Oh,
you go. Yeah, I can't watch horror movies. I can't watch it. I can't watch people being killed or bloodied or anything like that. But I don't mind being on the cover of Fangoria magazine. That's fine.
Thomas asked in the chat, did you get to meet John Vernon or Henry Silva while making Chained Heat?
John Brennan.
John Vernon or
Oh,
Henry
John
Silva?
Burnham. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny. I did a movie with him way back when I lived in San Francisco.
Hmm.
Way back before I think I was even an actress. I was working at Columbia Records,
Hmm.
and Zoetrope was on. I was working at Columbia Records, and then Zoetrope was upstairs, and one of the directors came and saw me. He says, "Do you mind being in a movie with John Burnham?" And so I had to play like this dingbat person at a party at a dinner, and that was my first experience. I think it was before I got into the union,
Hmm.
but I did work. He was also very funny. Henry Silva, I don't remember.
Hmm.
Maybe we didn't have any scenes together. So,
Yeah.
Henry Silva just passed not too long ago too.
Yeah.
oh boy. As Rod Stewart, they interviewed him. He goes, everyone's dropping like flies. Francine York was nice, with Chain Heat, but the person I liked the most was Linda Blair, and she was with Rick James at the time.
Oh wow.
Yes, do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was a golden era.
Yeah,
The
that was her
golden era of
boyfriend.
Blair.
Yeah, and Susan Player was with Al Jarreau when I was at Pom Pom Girls.
Oh
Like
wow,
he
I
came
didn't
to
know
the
that.
set. Yeah, he came to the set. Al Jarreau. I got to know him.
Linda has a reputation for not showing up to the set, or at least she did. Do you
Linda
remember
Blair?
anything like that? Yeah, Linda
No,
Blair.
not for this movie. She was. I don't ever remember having any complications with that. No, she. I don't think she was ever late or like people who are late who are you can't. They'll fire you. You can't when you're working on a movie and you're late. You're gone.
What about Tamara Dobson on Chain Heat? Do you remember much about her?
No, I don't. I'm trying to remember. Hmm. No, I don't. And we might not have worked in the same scene, or it was very like short.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's mean in the movie. Like she's really mean, and then she turns. They sort of like join forces at the end. Everybody joins forces at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
You had that scene. Don't you have a scene where you come on to Linda in the shower? That's like
Yes.
you very aggressively like come on to her.
I was
She's not a
not.
character for you.
I was not aggressive in it, but I had to do it. Like the director told me I had to do it. So I did my best, which it was tough, but that was very uncomfortable.
It's
Like
convincing.
yeah, but she was fine.
Hopefully, you laughed about it later.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Who else was in that movie? Well, all I remember is like me with you know with Linda and Sybil Danning and Francine York. She like the head of the prison or something. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but
Stella Stevens.
oh yes, I liked her, and I became friends with her son Andrew at one time. I think he's still around.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
And
a major star as the 80s and 90s went on because he did all of the Night Eyes and all of the, he was even directing movies for a while.
Yeah, yeah, he was nice. That's her.
Yeah. Daryl asked,
Yes, Daryl.
you were in Phantom of the Paradise as one of the groupies.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
In the beginning of my career, I would do almost anything. Okay, I wanted but it was Brian De Palma,
Yeah.
right? Getting to work with Brian De Palma. So Gino Havens was the casting director, and he would have me in for a whole bunch of different things. We were friends, and he said, "Come on, meet Brian De Palma." So I met Brian De Palma. I got the part. We shot it at that studio on like Las Palmas in Hollywood, and I loved the hair and makeup. And he just said, "Shoot, go ahead, have fun." That was it. That
That's
wasn't
it.
much. Yeah, it was a smaller part. I just wanted to work with him, and I liked him a lot. I worked on that for maybe a week, but it was kind of fun. We had fun. We were all like all over each other, and I remember my parents went to see the movie and they walked out. My father couldn't
Were you
handle it.
disappointed to hear that?
Yeah, my father couldn't handle it. His daughter, yeah, but that was good. I liked working with him, and Paul Williams was terrific. He's a nice guy.
I was just thinking about him because I watched an episode of Hardy Boys Nancy Drew Mysteries that Paul Williams is on,
Yeah.
singing songs from Phantom of the Paradise.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's still around, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He actually did a
good
couple
in
songs. He just won a Grammy a couple years ago because he did some songs with the band Daft Punk.
Oh.
And they used because this band, they're a French techno disco band, and they were inspired by Phantom of Paradise, and they wear masks
Wow.
on stage very similarly, and they always wanted to work with him because he was kind of their hero from being in that movie. So
Yeah.
they actually met at a screening of the movie, and that's how they started working together.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Paul Williams. I actually just saw him in not as good of a movie, Smokey and the Bandit 3. I just saw him
Oh,
in
God.
this week. I have a lot to say about that movie, but yeah, it's amazing though. He shows up in so much stuff in the 70s, like, and he had two careers going at the same time. Like his
Yeah.
songs were
Very
huge. And,
talented. Yeah.
yeah. I loved him as a kid. Anytime he showed up and stuff, I'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. So it's good to know that he was a decent guy. So
Yeah.
it's nice to
Almost
hear. from-
everybody was decent, except for
Yeah.
a couple. Like Sue Lyon wasn't nice.
Mm.
I had to play her best friend.
Oh,
Yeah, oh my God, that must have been difficult.
She was another mean one
Mm.
because she apologized at the end, just like Robin did. And I think it had to do with billing because she was once Lolita and all that, and then I come around like on the newer side and I get top billing, and we're supposed to be best friends. So and it looked like we were best friends in the movie, but we weren't.
It does. That's why I'm so shocked to hear that
Ugh.
that's the way it was off camera.
It was terrible. But then at the end, she became nice. And I became friends with Joe Montana. He was great. Another nice, very talented actor.
I hope we do get a nice release of Towing one day on home media.
Oh, I love that movie. I've seen it so many times.
The soundtrack is so strange. It's very
Towing.
it's really memorable.
Well, it's almost like pre-rap, huh?
Yeah.
Towing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the movie. I like the music in the movie too. But that was all about Chicago.
It really does have a great local flavor.
It's very local. Yeah.
It seems it's very free form, and I like movies like that. Maybe I wish it would have caught on more with audiences.
Yeah, we didn't have the right distribution. They had it with the Wanderers or something in a drive-in, like second billing. It didn't get the right distribution. That was the problem. I think if it got the right distribution, it would have been more famous. And at the end of it, they had a Mayor Daley look. Back then, it was Mayor Daley of Chicago. And that was the end. There was like someone that played Mayor Daley, just like the back of him, you know.
How does Mara feel about it? Does she look back on it fondly?
Yeah, I think what happened was later in life, after she was focusing on her husband's career. Yeah, she should have been able to make another movie. I would have worked with her again. We had a lot of fun.
You got along well with her as a director?
Oh yeah. Well, she picked me out. You see, I met her at the Pom Pom Girls screening. Jack Gilardi had her meet with me after she saw Pom Pom Girls. She wanted me to play the part, Jean. So that was easy. I didn't have to audition.
I'm really excited to be watching. It's been a while since I watched Horror Planet, aka Inseminoid. So this is going to
Yeah,
be a very welcome revisit for me tonight.
that's good. I'm glad. You'll see me. You'll see the screaming. How great I am at screaming. You'll see the blood coming out of my face. Yeah,
I have to say that I find your death scene kind of hilarious
it is hilarious.
because you have that thing that you're struggling with, like that weapon that you're trying to use on Jason,
Yeah.
and it sort of backfires. I'm like, it's horrifying too because I can't tell what it's supposed to be doing, but it's something horrible that leaves a big mark on you.
Yeah, that's when I said I was laughing because I go, all these years of acting class, this is what it's come down to. It was funny. And
You didn't really have to act in some of those scenes. It was pretty horrifying with the blood
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, I had to put on a bit of an English accent in the movie. It's a bit. It's like they're all English actors except for Robin. So I had to, since I'm the commander of the spaceship, I had to not have an English accent, but have a little bit of it.
You have a very strange wardrobe in Seminoid too. It's just what did they give you?
That
Did
was
they?
not my. It was just a white shirt and navy pants. That's it. But what do you expect? You're in outer space, right? You don't have a stylist out there.
Sure. It's not
You're
Star Trek, you know. These
yeah,
were working class people, which is another holdover from Alien. You know, these were blue collar characters in
yeah,
outer space, or they
yeah.
had a job to do there.
I didn't like the outfit. Believe me, I didn't. I didn't like my hair. But the thing is, you're in outer space, so you have to be natural.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I think of those poor people that were stuck on in outer space for so long.
oh my god.
It's
Oh
horrifying.
my god. That was horrible. Oh,
Uh,
but they seem to
it-
have a really good attitude.
yeah, I mean that's what they showed everybody anyway. I'm sure privately they were freaking out.
Well, there might have been a part of them going, no responsibilities, I don't have to pay any bills right now. Yeah, just
I
away
never
from
thought
things.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let you start thinking because you always stuff in your head. I got to pay taxes, I got to pay bills, and blah blah blah. And they're out there in outer space, and I go, screw it, I don't have to do anything. Like I don't have to worry about anything back home. But
They did have work to keep them occupied.
yeah, it was bad. How
Yeah,
about what about the one where the Amazon one that kind of went up? Was that really? Did they really go up to space and back?
Oh yeah, where the celebrities went up.
Yeah.
They went up to as high up in the atmosphere as you can go without breaking orbit, I think, and then just stayed up there for a bit and came back. I think it was.
Do you think they really went? Do you think they really went? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think it was
You think it was a hoax?
I mean, I could. If you want to know, I don't want to reveal the tinfoil hat that I wear about us going into space, but I think that it's all that was all publicity. It also, it's weird that we're not sending scientists up; we're sending Katy Perry into space. That's a little
Gail
strange,
King,
right?
Right?
Yeah, Gail King and Katy Perry. It's like cool. I hope that these aren't the people that meet extraterrestrial life. Like this is not who we sent.
Well, the only where I thought it was real with Gail King when she came out of the thing, I thought she was going to die.
Oh yeah.
So that where I thought, well, maybe they really did go up, because she was like not happy. She was like she wanted to die. Like, get me out of here. This was horrible.
When William Shatner went up, Chris Erickson brought up, like, he said that, like, it really made him real. Like, some people have the feeling when they get up that high of, like, oh, we're all connected. And he said, I had the feeling that I was so insignificant surrounded by the stars and, like, how small Earth was. And like Sandy said, it was a totally, like, humbling experience and that he wasn't ready for.
Yeah,
So I thought that was interesting.
I agree with him. You
Yeah.
become insignificant. Like,
Yeah.
that's when I liked looking up at night at all the stars and everything. Like, what else is out there? And I'm going to worry about something
Yeah.
stupid,
Yeah.
I watched an old 60s movie, Moon 02, or 1970 movie, Moon 02. It was set in 2021, and everybody was arguing about how they were colonizing the moon and were there too many people living on the moon. And I'm like, that's not this is the future that we were promised. This is not the future that we got. And they're like, we should be on Mars and Venus already. And I'm like, we haven't even got past the moon yet.
I guess we're going to be on Mars in the
They're
next 20
claiming,
years.
yeah.
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to another planet. That's
no, me either.
Yeah.
I
don't think that's a good idea.
No.
Listen,
I worry about us putting too much emphasis on that. Like, people are saying, like, oh, well, I don't want people to get the mentality that we can just do whatever we want with this planet because one day we're going to leave. That's what I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, if they want to explore and they're like, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe some people can live up there. I mean, in Mars. I don't know. I don't know if there's air, if you can breathe.
No. I've seen enough movies like Inseminoid to not want to go to another planet. So I'm totally fine sitting in my basement.
It's more fun to play a role in that and get paid for it and get treated like a movie star. That was like like during that movie, it was a lot of press was coming into London at the time for that movie.
Did they treat you well, or were they sort of like cynical about it?
They did. They treated me very well, and I went to France, and I couldn't walk down the street because pom pom girls outgrow Star Wars in France. Can you imagine that little movie?
I love that for you, though. I love that for you.
Yeah. I could not walk down the street. Lâche pas les baskets. That was the name. Lâche pas les baskets. Lori. Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay.
It's really lovely, you guys. Thank you so much for asking me to do this.
Yeah, thank you for being on again. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, we loved you on the last show, and thank you so much for doing another one.
I'll do it again. Let me know when. Okay, bye, everybody.